Hi guys, and welcome to Back of the Internet on our first podcast. I'm your host Jamie, and this is Joe, and we are going to be taking this discussion today. How are we doing, Joe?
Evening, Angle. All well here.
Super. Right, so let's get stuck straight into it. POCH-IN-TINO. POCH-IN, Ollie out. What are your thoughts?
To be honest, I don't know where the Poch rumours come from. It doesn't do it for me. Really doesn't. He failed at Spurs, didn't win him anything, so what use would he be to United? So I do feel Ollie's been let down, and I think you could kind of agree on that. I don't think Ollie is your favourite though, really, is he, going forward with United? But we either had to stick with him through this transfer window or not, and it looks like they haven't.
Well, the thing is with Ollie, he gets ridiculed, doesn't he? He gets called a school teacher of sorts. But let's not forget, this guy took over a Manchester United that was in free fall after Jose left. He's taken us to 3 semi-finals, which we should have done better. And we can all agree as Man U fans, we definitely should have done better. He's started a rebuild on the team. He's got a lot of the dead wood out. Lukaku, Fellaini. Just to name a few, Sanchez being the biggest one that we got off our books. Thank fuck.
So I can't get rid of Phil Jones.
But we can't, yeah, and we offer him a new contract of, what was it, £200,000, £300,000 a week?
Something ridiculous.
And he's made what, like 4 appearances since landing that contract?
Every time it comes to a transfer window, Phil Jones becomes injured. And then he's tied to the club for another season. It's brilliant. What a guy.
So, yeah, I mean, my personal opinion is I agree with you. I think that Ollie's been let down. I think he hasn't been backed in the transfer window. From all the information that's coming out, he had certain people that he wanted to bring in, Haaland being one of them, Upamecano. Jadon Sancho being the biggest transfer we didn't get, although all the talk was that we were definitely getting Sancho. We'd agreed personal terms. The number 7 was his for the taking, and we still didn't end up signing him. And we ended up with a 33-year-old Cavani. So, but I'm sure we'll get onto that in a bit. So my personal feelings is Poch hasn't won anything, but he has got to a Champions League final, and he did take over a Spurs team, again, that needed a massive rebuild with very, very little money. So to come to a club like Manchester United, not a lot of money, although we do have it, we won't share it, and to build. And tactically, he seems a bit more astute than Ollie, although I'd imagine he'd still be making subs about the 60, 70 minute mark. I don't know. Your thoughts?
The thing is, if they'd have brought Poch in, would they throw money at him? And if they did throw money at him, he'd get a big striker in, or he'd get your Sancho, or he'd get a decent centre half. I don't understand why they didn't just let Solskjaer have the signing that he wanted. Like, it all came out in the media, didn't it? That they didn't get 1, 2, or 3 of the targets that they actually wanted. And to me, missing out on Haaland and him going Dortmund, it's such a kick in the teeth. And you see him, he bags goals for fun. Yes, I understand that German league might be a bit of a pub league at times, but he bags goals for fun, doesn't he? What is he, 6'4", 6'5"? He runs about 50 miles an hour. Every time I turn Sky Sports News on, he's scored. Whether it's on a football pitch or it's at home, or he's just bagging goals for fun, isn't he?
Well, shall I give you an interesting stat I saw today, and I don't know how true this is, but apparently he's made 56 appearances and scored 56 goals.
It's madness. Every time I see Dortmund, it's Haaland scored or Haaland's assisted. It's madness. And yet Ollie went to see him, didn't he? He met up with him, but couldn't convince him to come to United.
Well, he managed him, didn't he? He managed him at Mold.
Yeah.
Again, this was another transfer that 100% was nailed on. He was definitely coming, the Norwegian connection, so on and so forth. And then he didn't sign, but it's later come out that Woodward wouldn't put a release clause, and I think it was 30, 40 million, but he's been offered to us at 18. So regardless, we'd have made a profit even if we lost him. So it seems like United once again lost out on another transfer target. And I think some of the blame has to be pointed at Matt Judge. He's a banker. He's not a football man. I think Patrice Evra alluded to it when he said the club is run by businessmen. And even in the transfer policies, it's still run by businessmen. We can have a transfer list as long as a Christmas list, but we don't seem to be getting any of the targets that we're going for. So is it because Ollie's not strong enough, that he doesn't lay down a marker and say, I need this person at all costs? He's a yes man. He'll accept whatever he's given. Or is it a fact that the board, the Glazers, don't trust him? Or the other theory is we're in this pattern, which we've been in since Sir Alex Ferguson left, where we hire a manager, we reach new expectations or higher expectations than we previously set. The season after, we don't spend. We sack a manager. We bring a new one in. We spend money. We get third. We get second. We get the Champions League again. We don't spend. We sack another manager, and so on and so forth. So I don't know. In that respect, maybe Ollie isn't the man to take us forward because he's not strong enough to actually go against the board. But we saw what happened when you go against the board, didn't we? With Jose Mourinho.
As soon as I saw Sancho not come in the door, it was within 2 days the writing was on the wall for Solskjaer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was coming out that they were looking at alternatives if results don't improve. And that Spurs game, yeah, they started off well, but then it was abysmal. Just watching how they were playing with each other on the pitch, it was like a Sunday League match. And Tottenham were running past him. And you just think, I remember when Moyes in the Valhalla time where you were dreading putting the footy on a Saturday because you thought how many we were going to get beat by. Yeah. And I just fear that season could be happening again.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, the next couple of fixtures we've got aren't the greatest. We've got Newcastle, we've got Paris Saint-Germain, we've still got Chelsea, City. Yeah, they're not great. We're in a position where if Ollie loses the next 4-5 fixtures, and they're not easy fixtures by any stretch of the imagination. We've got Wolves away. No, Wolves at home, sorry. I think we've got Sheffield United away.
Yeah.
If we lose these fixtures, at Christmas, we will see another man.
He's gone. He's gone, yeah. Yeah.
So with that said then, if we go back to what we said at the beginning, Poch-in or Poch out or Poch-in Ollie out?
It's so hard. As a true United fan, it's difficult because you've seen how it ended last season and the high that we were on. Winning and coming third at the end, we were on a massive high. All United fans were like, this is the start of the future now for United. Let's go into that transfer window. Back Ollie, he deserves it, and we can go forward. It didn't happen. So now everyone's slowly started to turn against Ollie. All this stuff's coming out about the stuff happening in the changing rooms. Bruno's giving everyone shit. He's been outed. He's subbed off. It's starting to get very negative. And I completely agree with you. If we get beat by Newcastle and hammered by PSG, his job's seriously on the line. Seriously on the line.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll bring Poch in. I don't think it'll be him.
Well, that would also be a kick in the teeth, but with Manchester United, you never know. They could launch an audacious bid to get Nuno in. Nuno seems to be a guy that has very little, does a lot. You just don't know with Manchester United, and this is what I hate because I mean we're a similar age, aren't we? I think there's 2 years difference between us, and our era is the Sir Alex Ferguson era. It's an era of stability. It's an era of signings coming through the door that are picked by the manager. It's an era of a manager being backed by the board, regardless of how we finished. If we finish second, we're damn sure we're finishing first the season after. And at the moment, it just seems to be anything above fifth is a success. and as a Man U fan, like you said, that's fucking gutting to me.
Yeah. There's so much that's changed from that era. Like I was talking to some of my mates who are United fans, and in regards to the captaincy, Harry Maguire is the United captain at the moment. Why? He doesn't seem like a leader. He costs a lot of money, so we'll give him the armband. Back in our era when United were great and beating everyone, Roy Keane was captain. No one dared argue with him. He told everyone what the job was to do on the pitch. If they weren't doing it, he gave them a bollocking. He was a leader. And now you've got people trying to come through like that, like Bruno, supposedly saying to players, you're not playing like United. He gets taken off.
Yeah.
How is someone like that not given the chance to manage those players on the pitch? Yeah, maybe he might have gone a bit too far from what reports are saying, but you tell me Roy Keane didn't go too far sometimes.
Well, it's like you just said,
But
no, I'll give you Roy Keane.
But yet Harry Maguire, people are saying he turns like an ocean liner. He gets done by the worst players, never mind decent. Imagine when Mbappe's running at him or Neymar, it's going to be embarrassing.
Well, Junior Stanislas fucking put him in his arse there.
So yeah, he's captain of Man United. Why? Because he cost 90 million. That's the only reason I can see that he is captain of Man United, because he costs a lot of money.
At Leicester, he was more of a leader. I think maybe because the back line followed suit, but I think a lot of that sort of came from Rodgers. When he came to Man U, the idea was he's English, he's hardworking, he will work for the team whenever he needs to, regardless of his deficiencies in his game, and he looked like a leader. I wanted him to be captain when he first came, because I thought, from what I saw at Leicester, he was a leader. What I'm starting to see now is he's happy to step away from the leadership when it's called for. When we were going to shit against Spurs, he should have been pulling lads together saying, look, fuck this. Let's be more solid. Let's be more compact. I don't know what the fuck Ollie was saying. He tends to sit there and watch the monitor, and I think Sky Sports flicked back to him at 4-1. He was almost laughing because he couldn't believe what he was seeing. At that point, your captain on the field has to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and go, fuck it. Let's let no more in. Pogba, you need to come back. Bruno, who should have been on the pitch, fucking defend with us. Rashford fall back. Mason come back. Wan-Bissaka tuck in. Luke Shaw tuck in, because he's a fucking pile of wank. So I know
his days are numbered.
Oh mate, well and truly, Alex Tellez is an absolute snap, and for the money we got him for as well, ridiculous. And I feel sorry for the new signings that have come through, because no United fan is excited about any of the signings. No one. And it's a shame. No. It's a damn shame. Because these players...
It says a lot. It says a lot for like younger lads, like your teenagers, who are like, Man United have signed Cavani. Oh my God, Man United have got Cavani. Yeah, Cavani 5 years ago would have been a decent signing. He's 33. No club would touch him. But yet United have panicked at the end of the transfer window and bought him. But to all the young generation of kids that have grown up playing FIFA and how good was Cavani on FIFA, they think it's like this monumental signing, when it's an aging striker that's got no pace, that's good in the air, and United don't play that way anymore.
No, we don't.
So he's just another Regalo that's going to come on the last 10 minutes, or when Martial's not fit. I don't think people truly understand the way Cavani plays. He's amazing in the air. He's tall. He's got no pace. He's not going to be playing your quick 1-2s with Rashford and Greenwood. He's going to be waiting for the ball to come to him so he can tap it in. The days of Cavani being world class are well and truly gone. He's a last 10-minute man, isn't he?
Well, if I'm honest, I think Ollie's going to probably start him and start using him, and I think Greenwood is probably going to start sitting on the bench a bit more, and he'll put Martial and Rashford either side of Cavani. I don't think, me personally, I never thought that Rashford was a number 9 anyway. I think he's better coming off the right, same as Rashford's better coming off the left. We needed a central striker. That was one area we needed to sign. But for the wages that we've signed, we could have had a much better striker. And like you said, and what we alluded to earlier, was we could have had Haaland for 18 million for less than £200,000 a week, doing that for us, and bring him on, bring Mason on, and let him learn, let them both learn. Even switch to a 4-4-2 if we have to at some point. But yeah, I know it's I think we've gone a bit of a tangent here. We've kind of jumped ahead of what we were wanting to talk about. So
if we get beat by Newcastle and get hammered by PSG, his days are numbered. And I think it's safe to say it's not really his fault.
Yeah.
He's done what he can do. He had a chance to take United to another level. He wasn't backed by the club. And I think every true United fan will be able to see that he wasn't backed. The club decided not to back him in getting the targets he wanted. So if he gets sacked or resigns, you know, I won't blame Ollie. I'll blame the club for not backing him.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I do think something has to change. I do think you made some very valid points when we talk about the dressing room, and Ollie's probably losing it. I think the frustration, not particularly with Ollie. I think we've got a lot of personalities, a lot of big players that need managing. Ollie was out of his depth at the start. The Glazers put him in there as a scapegoat, and we all know that. And I think, like you say, when we sack him, which we will, when we eventually sack him, it'll be fucking sad. It'll be sad for all United fans because of. I think, like you say, every true United fan will look at it and go, "We knew Ollie was out his depth. We loved what he did. He didn't go further because he wasn't backed, but maybe he couldn't have gone further anyway. But regardless of that, he was our man, and he's gone." And and like you say, I don't think it's not Ollie's fault. I think he was going to get sacked anyway. I think regardless of results, he's probably out just after Christmas, maybe the end of the season, unless he literally wins the Premier League or the Champions League. I just can't see us keeping him.
No, I agree with you. I think his days are numbered, and I think as soon as they come up with a package for someone, and I think they've got to go for someone decent. I don't think it's going to be Poch. I just don't think it's going to be him.
Who else is available? Who else can we get in this time frame?
Well,
in this COVID era where contracts are a lot smaller than what they previously were. Who's going to want to come to who? Well, for a start, put it this way: who's going to want to come to Manchester United and manage the team we've got under the board we have?
I think a lot of managers would see the potential in the squad. It has started to build on a youth, hasn't it, that they're trying to promote. And I think if Solskjaer was to last till next summer and things were to change with the whole COVID situation, and if they were looking at post-Solskjaer and looking for something new, I think whoever came in would want some reassurances, wouldn't they? They'd be like, you get your Sancho, because that's what everyone wants at Manchester United. So you get him in the door and you get whoever his target is that he wants. And I think a lot of managers would take that job. Obviously, they're going to get paid well, aren't they? They'll pay the manager well. Like I've seen what Solskjaer's on. He's raking it in, isn't he? Absolutely raking it in. No managerial experience. He was crap at Cardiff, but yet he's raking it in at United because they throw money at players and managers. But when it comes to actually buying a player, they bottle it. The penny pinchers. Or they pay these average players too much money.
But like you say, if they're giving these managers reassurances and saying, look, you're going to come in, we're going to sign X, Y, and Z, they do that every single time. Every time we bring a manager in, they seem to get a signing that they want. And that signing usually turns out to be a good signing. You know, like with Bruno. Like Jose wanted Bruno, he couldn't get him. He wanted Maguire, he couldn't get him. He wanted Wan-Bissaka, he couldn't get him. They sacked him. Next manager came in, gave the same list. We got him. Apart from Bruno, who came a bit later. But we were desperate. We needed him. We absolutely needed him. So the next manager that comes in, if he looks at the team and he goes, you know what, we need Heung-min Son. We need Son. And I don't know why no team looks at this guy because he's fucking phenomenal. But if he turns around and goes, right, we want him, they'll buy him.
Yeah.
But the season after, if they go, well, actually, we need to reinforce the midfield now or get a new defender, they'll be like, we finished fourth. Let's just hold on, see what this squad can do again. We're going to be embarrassed in the Champions League. We're going to get absolutely fucking torn up in that group.
Yeah, we are. And I think we should end this kind of point on. I think we'll back Ollie until they get rid of him because I think that's all we can do.
Yeah.
It's going to be a journey, isn't it? It's going to be a nice ride to be on playing against PSG again after what happened last time. And we'll get our kits on and we'll get round, we'll watch it. And then we'll get hammered and then he'll get sacked. And then that's the journey over. and we've waited a couple of years for this to happen, haven't we? So we might as well make the most of it because we know his days are numbered. So we might as well make the most of what's going to happen. If we get a draw or we get a result, then it's a bonus. But yeah, I'm putting money on us getting hammered.
So either way, then Solskjaer is out, and we're sceptical on Poch.
Yeah, like I've seen reports that they want to bring Ryan Giggs back in. It's getting a bit bloody fairy tale now, isn't it? It's getting a bit daft.
Oh, yeah, it's Man United all over. It's Man United all over. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't start trying to get Brendan Rodgers in or somebody like that. You know, it just not that he's a bad manager.
Give Cantona the job. That'd be a laugh. I'd tune into that every week if Cantona had the job. If it went tits up, he'd only go and kick the other manager or something, wouldn't he?
Pretty much. Fucking hell, this is a depressing start. Welcome to episode 1, by the way, with Jay and Joe. Literally depressing ourselves as much as we fucking can. So, right.
The number will come up at the bottom for the Priory if you want to sign yourselves in.
So, just to finish on that point then, I agree with Joe. I think Ollie's out regardless. I'm not sure if Poch will come in, but it sounds like he probably will. And, it's going to be the end of the fairy tale ride for the babyface assassin.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Right, so you had some points, Joe. You wanted to go on to something else?
Yeah, I'll briefly just mention something. I've been chatting to one of my mates, Ben, about this for a long time now. I didn't kind of want to believe it, but now I think I do. One of my mates has been saying, watch Pogba this season, just watch how bad he's got. And I'm there thinking, well, he's had COVID, he's not really been fit. Jesus Christ, he looks a different player. Like, we had a chance to get rid of him. He didn't even want to play for us. And now we're stuck with him for another couple of years. I'm telling you, we'll be lucky to get 30 million for him.
Fuck off. I ain't having that. What?
Oh, mate, he is poor. The fact that he's had a call up to France at this moment in time, he's paying someone serious money to get in that lineup, I'm telling you.
When he plays for France, he looks like a completely different player. But when I watch him for United, even against Spurs for the first 10 minutes, he was fucking strong and powerful, and then he was blowing out his head.
And then he shuts his eyes for 80 minutes. He's on a different world, Jay. He's on a different world. I was watching the France highlights for the last 2 games. Oliver Giroud banging him in. Looks world class. Can't get in the squad sometimes for Chelsea. What's going on there?
Well, Giroud's closing in on Thierry Henry's all-time France goal-scoring record, isn't he?
Madness. He's a starter for France. Up top.
We could have had Giroud at one point. I'm sure that we inquired about him. But again, fucking United, who we not linked to. You know that time when he was going to go to Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. See, this is the problem. I like Pogba. I like Pogba a lot. I like Pogba before we sold him. I always wanted him to come back. He came back. He's been unfairly treated. Me, personally, I think a lot of fans call him out more because it's Pogba. He's just a bit of a frustrating player because he does the most insane stuff. He makes the impossible.
Audacious move or ball. Yeah, he does. You're right.
Yeah. But he makes the simple stuff look impossible. And that's what's so frustrating because his link-up play is not there. But if he needs to ping the ball, if he needs to thread the ball through the Ivan needle, he can do it. And I think somebody like Bruno coming in that does it more consistently than Pogba, I think it's starting to show slight defects in his game. And I think more and more people are starting to notice that.
Can you remember when De Gea was going through that rough spot? Well, I say rough spot. He's been going through it for 3 years now. But you know when he was going through that very rough spot where you were watching the game and someone had played a back pass to him or they'd have a shot at him, you think it's going in. Doesn't matter if it's off target. He's going to put it in his own net. And you were there watching the TV, putting your gloves on, going, get me in net. I'm not watching this shit anymore. When you see Pogba now, every time he gets the ball, you immediately think he's going to lose it or he's going to give it away or he's going to pass it to the opposition. Whether it's confidence, I don't know. But yeah, I watched him against France last night. He looked half decent. He was commanding. He was good on the ball. He was spreading it about. For United, He looks dire. And there's something going on there.
My original excuse for Pogba was when everybody was giving him pelters, when we had Lukaku and we still had Ashley Young and people like that, was he's playing with mediocre fucking talent. No matter what people were saying at the time, we had an overweight Lukaku, we had Ashley Young who was fucking past it. You know, he's playing balls into people like Fellaini and all this sort of shit. People that can't read his passes, he'd go for 1-2s, they wouldn't go with him. He seems to be thinking one step ahead, or he did seem to be thinking one step ahead all the time. And he had poor players around him. Now he's got a better squad around him. He can't argue with the front three because Martial, Rashford, and Greenwood absolutely fucking nightmare fuel for the other team. He should be getting the ball into these guys and following up as soon as possible. Problem is, which is again what we're seeing, he's playing so far deep that he can't get involved. I mean, for me, Ollie plays him as a CDM, and he's not a CDM.
Yeah, he does.
CDM. He's
he does, yeah.
Box, but he asks him to sit and Bruno do all the work. Bruno should be sitting in the hole like Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
But where do we put Pogba?
I don't understand, because we play the back four and then we play Matic in front of the back four, but yet he plays Pogba alongside Matic. I mean, how defensive do we want to play? Are we that scared of I mean, we are conceding goals. I mean, we obviously the problem with the defence. Are we playing Pogba and Matic as CDMs because our defence is so bad? Is that what it is?
I just think it's Ollie's tactic. I just genuinely think he likes playing with two CDMs. You see when he makes his subs, and he subs are the same subs every fucking time. He brings on McTominay or Fred, and if he takes like anybody else off, he like with Van der Beek, he put him on the other day against Spurs as a CDM. Like, yes, he can play there, but why are we buying all these midfielders who are central midfielders to play them as defensive midfielders and totally nullifying their game? That's not what they're there for. Bruno's our best fucking CDM at the moment. Like, he tracks back all the time. But that's not Bruno.
He's a little bit all over the place, isn't he? He's a little bit, I want to be everywhere on the pitch at the same time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're watching it thinking, just stay in position, you're doing too much. And he always looks knackered.
Mm.
And I just hope all the stuff I'm reading's not true about the unrest in the dressing room and Bruno's not happy. I think, Jesus, why does this always happen at United?
I think Bruno's come to the club. He's taken the club to heart. He knows how much it means to us. He knows how much it means to the fans.
Yeah.
The sporting, he wore his heart on his sleeve. He's come to Man United expecting the exact same thing. I'm coming to this club. You sign me. I'm a fucking red. And you can't knock that. You cannot knock his passion for the team. But then you've got other players. And if it is true what he's saying, he's like, we are Manchester United. You are not playing like Manchester United. That does show, one, the leadership, two, the fucking history of the club. He's clearly like studied it. He knows what it means to people. People should be following his lead and taking his lead. And he's an outsider coming in. We've got Pogba. He's one of our players. Like, we brought Pogs through. Rashi, we brought him through. Greenwood, we brought him through. Martial's been there long enough. De Gea's been there long enough to understand what it means. Some players get complacent, and he's one of those players that won't get complacent. And he'll play his arse off and then finally get picked up by a bigger... It's hard to say this, but he'll get picked up by a bigger club. Madrid will come knocking and say, we'll have him then.
Yeah.
And he'll go, because he'll be fed up. He'll be like, look, I tried. So...
What do you do with De Gea?
Leave him in net.
Do you keep him in net?
Yeah.
Do you?
I think until we sign a centre back, keep him in net. I don't think it's fair to put Dean Henderson behind that back line because his confidence will get rocked.
Yeah, I get that, and I bet you before Christmas we'll have seen Twanzebe. We'll see Rojo back in the fold. We'll try every defender to try and make it work. I'm telling you.
Now,
I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if Rojo makes it back into that starting 11. He's quick. He puts a challenge in. He doesn't mess about. Yes, I know he can be erratic and he plays out of position at times, but I'd stick him in there because he wears his heart on his sleeve, and that's what I enjoy seeing.
But mate, Rojo is like fucking Frodo Baggins. He's on an adventure half the time. He's meant to be a centre back. He'll be in front of Rashford. Like, what the fuck are you doing up here, mate? Like, get back.
But Rojo's finished his adventure before Maguire turns round, mate. So I'm happy to see that.
I think we've got a few problems. Just going back to Pogba, I'm happy to talk about the defence in a second, but just going back to Pogba. My dad made a comment the other day. I didn't take it on board, but now we're talking about it. It's kind of resonating a little bit. He said to me that when we used to watch England, you couldn't play Lampard and Scholes together. With Man United, you can't play Bruno and Pogba together. Two world-class talents, two different games, playing the same position, don't work well together. And I'm starting to see it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I was talking to my mate Ben again, and you play Matic in front of the back four, then you play Fernandes, and then in front of Fernandes, I'd play Van der Beek, because he can make things happen. He's got a nice little touch. He can turn. He can play the strikers and the wingers in. You're not going to really get that with Pogba. Pogba's a get the ball and go down the pitch and try and spread it out. But you've seen what Van der Beek can do in the little chances he's had. If we're not going to use him, then why do we buy him?
I don't know. Utility man, I suppose. We bring him on. We use him wherever we need to. If we need him to CDM, we'll play him there. If we need him as in the KDB position, we'll play him there. I think, like you say, we play way too defensive. We don't need two CDMs.
Yeah, we do.
But we could play with two CMs. If the back four was stronger, we'd literally play with two CMs and a cam, and it'd probably be Pogba, Donny, and Bruno in behind Martial, Rashford, and I suppose Cavani. No. Or Greenwood, who's our most natural striker, but we don't play him as a striker, which absolutely fucking baffles me. But I'm not the manager. I don't see what they're doing in that training. But I do think Martial.
I don't think Solskjaer's got it in him to drop Pogba. Like, I didn't think he was going to play against Spurs. I thought because he was so bad in the fixture before, I thought he's not going to play. He's going to play De Beek. And then when Pogba played, and he played the 90 minutes, obviously we find out later that something happened with Bruno and they took him off. But he was so bad. So bad.
But it's come out that apparently Van der Beek isn't happy either. He wonders why he left Ajax. From what's
I bet he does. Bet he does.
When he came to the club, we had a pre-season friendly against Aston Villa where we lost 1-0, and he played that game. Pogba was recovering from coronavirus, and then the first game back, we have Van der Beek on the bench, who's match fit, Pogba playing, who's literally just got over COVID-19. It baffles.
Oh yeah, a killer disease.
Yeah, it's things like that that baffle me. It absolutely baffle me, and I think these are sort of the Achilles heels to Ollie. He's so rigid in what he wants and what he plays. You can pick the team before it even starts every fucking time. Like our front three and Bruno, that was what we used after the break, and came back and they played every single game and every single minute because Ollie didn't make subs until like the 87th minute when he brought Mata on, Garlo on. They were shattered. But
And I agree. Like, I didn't agree with people when they called him a PE teacher at first. I was like, why do they keep calling this PE teacher? I don't get it. It's not right. But the more you think about it and the more you see it, they call him that PE teacher because when you're at school and your PE teacher, say you're playing a school away at their school, you play your best students because they're the best. No matter how crap they are in the form or not, you play them because they're the best that you see. You don't let your subs come on because they're not as good. And he's just doing exact same thing. He's playing Pogba because in his eyes, Pogba is one of the best midfielders in the world. Regardless if he's just had COVID-19, he's got no stamina and he can't touch the ball. I'm playing Pogba because he's called Paul Pogba. And that's literally what he's doing.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. So, the Pogba issue then, I think we're both sort of...
Yeah, sell him to Norwich for 20 million.
I think you're slightly more biased. Well, not. I think I'm slightly more biased into the Pogba hype machine. But I think you've You either want to see him put up or shut up? Pretty much.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think he's a very good player when he's firing full cylinders and when he's banging form. When he's not in form, he looks average. And you've got to, I give him the credit for trying, but you've got to protect him as well. Like, I've seen some players come out in the media saying, Paul Pogba, sometimes he's world class, sometimes they can't believe what they're seeing and he looks bang average. If he's that bad when he's out of form, don't play him. Give the likes of Van der Beek a chance to play. Play Fred. Just play anyone but Pogba. I feel sorry for Fred. If I was Fred, I'd have left.
I like Fred.
Yeah, I really liked Fred. He was going to be our player of the season of that year before COVID kicked in and all the changes happened. He was playing so well. He was given a run of games. He looked quality. Now he looks bang average because he's just out of favour.
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
I like Fred. I was hoping he was going to be the next Kante, but I do like him. So
yeah,
we've got an abundance of midfielders, and our major problem is a problem we didn't solve in the transfer window, is the defence. Shambles. Absolutely fucking shambolic, to put it bluntly.
yeah.
And I think a lot of it has to be sort of directed at Maguire.
Yeah, I think Lindelof's had a lot of the abuse. I quite like Lindelof at times.
Don't do it.
I do. I think Lindelof reads the game well. Yes, he hasn't got any pace. He reads the game well, but he's let down because him and Maguire together are just not quick enough. Together they look poor. And strikers just think, they lick the lips, think, I'm going to have him here. And it makes them both look average. So they've took Lindelof out because Maguire is captain. And now Bay's come in, throws himself about, wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's made Maguire look average. But they won't drop Maguire. Because they've spent so much money on Maguire, they won't drop him. So who are they going to try next? Bay and Swansea at the back? I wouldn't be surprised.
To be honest, I'd love to see Axel come back in the team. I think he's a fucking great centre back. He's young, he's quick. His only issue is he's very injury prone, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because when you watch the other channels, like Stephen Howson will say he's the most complete defender he's ever seen, and you know, and he goes to a lot of football, and he watch. For somebody to put a player like that on such a pedestal, there has to be something there. But like I agree with you, we won't drop Maguire, and I think now is the time to do it. I genuinely do. His England performances have been fucking pants. It's been shit for United. This shit that's going on in Greece is fucking with him all the time. Since he's come back, he just looks a shadow of himself. He looks shattered. Here's another stat for you, because I've already come out with two fantastic stats tonight. Harry Maguire played the most minutes of any professional footballer last season in the world.
Yeah, saw it.
54 games, wasn't it? He played every minute.
Yeah, something daft.
That takes its toll. At some point, you have to rest him. No matter how good he feels, you have to say, look, you need to take a break. Because everybody needs a break at some point. All you're doing is you're setting people up to fail, because if they're playing consistently, the mistakes are being magnified. They're tired. They can't get out of that funk, and you keep playing them. And this is another thing that Ollie does that pisses me off. He plays players through bad form, and they don't seem to be coming out the other side of it a better player. Like you said earlier about DDG. He played really poorly for a long time. Then he picked up a little bit, nothing like he was, and then he's not been great since. Harry Maguire, not been great since. You know, I can't really think of any players. Pogba, he's another one. Bang out of form, plays him, carries on his bad form. Even Bruno had a dip last season because he was fucking knackered. But Ollie,
so did Rashford, didn't he?
Yeah,
Rashford did.
Rashford fucking didn't he crack a vertebrae in his back? And then as soon as
they played him, they gave him painkiller injections. Nearly killed the guy.
Yeah, to just keep playing because you're picked. You're Ollie's boy. So
yeah,
and Another one, I'll tell you another one who's gone to shit as well. Wan-Bissaka.
He's it's awful, isn't it? He runs forward with the ball, and you just know he's going to turn back and put it inside.
He's got no delivery
because he gets to the byline and he can't cross it.
No,
He just can't cross.
no. Neither of them can. Luke Shaw can't. They run. They bomb down the wings. They get that 1-2. They get into the box, cut it back. If they can cut it back, try across. It's always fucking headed out. Luke Shaw's just as bad.
Yeah.
The final third play of our wing backs is atrocious.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I listened to Mark Goldbridge go on about Luke Shaw and how, don't get me wrong, he can play well at the back and he can get up the pitch. 100% I agree with that. And he looks composed on the ball. But when he gets to the other penalty box, it just goes to shit. Like, how many goals has Luke Shaw scored? How many assists has he got? It's not enough, is it?
Free,
and we brought Alex Tellers in, who's got an absolute jackhammer of a left foot, and he bombs down the left and puts balls in. I'm telling you, Luke, if he starts well, Luke Shaw's days are numbered, and the only position he's going to play is left centre half.
I'm sure somebody in the comments will probably tell us, but I'm pretty sure Luke Shaw, since we've bought him, has got something like 3 goals and 4 assists since he came to the club, and Alex Tellez has got something like 26 assists and like 20 goals or something silly like that. So I know the league, I know it's different and such, but they play at a more intense, harder pace in Portugal, where the teams just bombard each other. Whereas here, you have to think about it sometimes. But I think Jose was right, and this is the thing when everybody was like wanting Jose out and saying Jose was doing this and Jose was doing that. He called out Lukaku for being overweight. We sold him. He called out Luke Shaw and said Luke needed man managing all the fucking time. And he does. He called out the board. We know about the board. We don't need to discuss that. He called out Pogba. We've just talked about Pogba being an issue. So he wasn't exactly wrong with the things he was saying. Just at the time, he was saying them so loud, it was becoming toxic around the club. But when you look at players like Luke Shaw, who can't manage the fucking game, at Spurs was playing as a centre-back, as a fucking winger, but not a left-back at all. There's screenshots of a back three and no Luke Shaw. I don't know where the fuck he is when we're being attacked.
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
I know, but that's where he should be. I don't know where he is. Whereas Jose would be standing on the sideline saying, Luke, that's your position. Get back. The fuck are you going?
Yeah.
So,
all he's watching catchphrase up in the stanza on his monitor, though, isn't he? Family fortunes or something like that.
But that's it. We've got a left back who goes missing, who's got no final end product, who's a half decent defender when he's in the position he's meant to be. We've got an ever rotating fucking revolving door of centre backs that are injured, that are fucking poor to mediocre at best. And then we've got Harry Maguire, who plays every single game, who's got his own problems, and he's slow. And like you say, he's got a turning circle of a fucking tractor. And then we've got Wan-Bissaka, who started off brightly, who's got no final ball, who can tackle, but even that's going off. No, he's making silly fouls and snap decisions because he's losing the ball or he's using his pace to get back. And he's actually tackling from the side or slightly from the back. So even he's bang out of form as well. On top of a goalkeeper that doesn't trust his defence. So that section of the team is fucked. Then you've got a midfield that doesn't work because it's too fucking discombobulated. You know, there's no cohesion there. And the only part of the park that we can happily say, do you know what, is world class, is the top. Which leads us nicely into, see that for a segue, you like it, didn't you? Cavani. Panic! Yeah. Everybody fucking panic!
I'm telling you, I'd rather have had Josh King.
Fuck off. I think he was.
I don't get it.
He was holding out for a move.
I don't get it though. Like, I was watching the highlights of that lad from Brentford. You know, that West Ham are signing. Fucking hell, he is mustard, isn't he? He's
He's
mustard.
tiny, to be fair.
But yeah, we'll go for Cavani. He's going to cost us what is it? 10 million in agent fees, 200 grand a week. Agala will never play again. He might as well go back to China now.
He's back. He's going back in January, isn't
Yeah, he might as well go now. Pack his bags, see in a bit. Thanks for the ride. You had a good couple of weeks where you scored against Dynamo Kiev, whoever it was. See in a bit.
Do you think that's all Agala's fault then, or do you think Agala's been badly mismanaged because Ollie will not drop?
To be honest, when Agalo came, I thought I'll give him a chance. You know, we haven't got anyone else, so I'll give him a chance. He held up the ball well. I think he came on for like last 10 minutes against City, and I thought, what a guy! He's going to go down in history here. And then I think we had obviously the 12-week break, whatever it was, from football, and he put on about 3 stone.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you've just ruined it for yourself.
But
yet they kept him till January because they had no backup striker. And sadly, that's the end of Agalo for United. It was nice whilst it happened, that brief spell.
He needed to use a PT, didn't he, big man? That's what he needed.
Yeah.
Bit of beef.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Which way to China, Agalo? Which way?
That Under Armour top is actually painted on, guys.
Yeah. See the link for the spray paint at the bottom.
It's a morph suit. It's a zip for it.
But I'm really hoping Cavani. I'm not sure if he's going to play against Newcastle with all these the 2 weeks isolating or whatever. I hope he doesn't bag hat-trick or score a screamer because everyone will love him. They'll be going berserk, won't they? I know it's really bad as a United fan. I'm really hoping we see the Cavani that we expect to see, and he turns up and people go, "Who the fuck is that? Get him off. Get Lingard on. Get Lingard on now."
Fucking hell, Jesse's another.
I can't see it, mate. He's not going to save United. We're going to finish 6th to 7th this season, sadly. I'm rooting for a top 4 finish, but it's not going to happen. I can't see it.
I like his attitude. I like the things that he's been coming out with recently. There's been a lot of good press and PR around him. But again, I think that's the Manchester United media machine spinning it as fucking hard as they can.
Yeah.
The thing is, he would have been able to play against Newcastle if he was still at a club because they're considered elite athletes. They don't have to. I believe they don't have to quarantine when they come back from another country. Whereas he's had COVID, I think, and his wife has, and because he's not been training, he's not classed as an elite player anymore. So I don't think he has to go through the civilian quarantine rather than the elite footballer quarantine. So that's why I think he misses the Newcastle game. But do you know what? I hope he's a hit, man. I hope he goes down in folklore like Zlatan did. Henry Larsson, even Henry Larsson to a point, you know what I mean? I hope he comes in. I hope he bangs. I don't think he can play week in, week out, which is good because it gives Mason a shot. But I'm hoping Ollie or Poch or whoever comes in.
Yeah, but when Zlatan came in, United had to change their game, adapt to playing to Zlatan because he was so good in the air. And United have started something now, haven't you, over the past 2 years with the youth, the speed, the skill, and now they're going to have to change it around for Cavani.
You say that, but when we brought in Zlatan, how good was Rashford? Like, Rashford he stepped up to another level. And Rashford was our striker for a little bit because Lukaku was banged out of form. And Zlatan dragged Rashford through. And all of a sudden, Rashford became his clinical finisher. And I'm hoping it's the same with Cavani. I mean, if anybody's going to teach you how to fucking hit a ball, it's going to be Cavani. And Mason, he sounds like he's got his head screwed on to a point. He does like Swedish girls, but who can fucking blame him? Or Icelandic girls, wherever they're from. But I think if Cavani can teach him and we interchange, we play Cavani, we take him off for 70 minutes, we put Greenwood on, get Greenwood's confidence up, minutes on the board, 30 minutes, 20 minutes to smash it up, rest him for the next game, Cavani, bring in Greenwood and keep it like that. I think we might potentially have a really, really good strike force. It will only fall down if he starts playing Martial up top and moving Greenwood to the right again, which I don't want to see. I genuinely don't want to see. Martial's not a striker for me. 100% he's not a striker for me. He can't hold the ball up well. He's not strong and powerful enough to play with his back to goal. He has to cut in. He's kind of like when I look at the lads we've got like our own Mane and Salah pretty much.
Yeah.
But we play fucking Salah up top where we should be playing him wide. And then we've got Greenwood, who is better than Firmino, but Firmino's a great link-up player. But I think Greenwood's like that as well. He brings players into the game. He's quick. He plays 1-2s. He runs off his last man. Yes, he's not very good in the air. According to Ollie, he's pretty pants in the air and he needs to work on it.
Yeah.
But with, like you're saying, the intricate football we're playing at the moment and the stuff on the ground, he only needs half a chance and it's going in the back of the net, left foot, right foot. It's a goal. So why aren't we playing somebody who's naturally two-footed in the centre of the park?
Yeah. You've got to remember as well, with Zlatan, you had Ashley Young whipping it in every week to Zlatan.
Yeah.
Ashley Young, he stopped running with the ball down to the corner and like trying to cut back. Ashley Young was whipping it in and Zlatan was winning headers for fun. Not just goals, he was heading it down for players to put in. It's going to be completely different with Cavani. And I think it'll either work or it won't work at all.
Yeah.
I do agree with you to a certain extent about Martial. He's not a striker. But Greenwood, Martial and Rashford aren't very good in the air, are they?
No, not at the moment.
We haven't got a striker who is great on the ball and can head. Like, can we put it down? Like Solskjaer. He was brilliantly good in the air, wasn't he?
Well, look,
and he had a good shot on him.
Look at Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin's fucking...
Mate,
I mean...
I'm telling you, he is going to get a big money move next summer.
Yeah.
He's better than Everton.
Well, it depends
He
what
looks...
they do. Depends what they do, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if they win the league, Jesus Christ.
I know. It'd be worth a cheeky tenner.
Place your bets. I'm telling you, place your bets. Rodriguez, free transfer. They just paid 20 million in wages. Yeah. What a player he's going to be for him.
When we look at, like when we're talking about strikers and we're using, I'm using DCL because he's English, but he's good in the air and he's much better on the floor than he used to be. However, Greenwood's better technically, I think, personally, in that regard. So we need a striker that can head it, but the way Man United play, we need somebody when the ball comes across, will just hit it with either foot. Whereas Martial is predominantly right and Rashford is predominantly left. So have them cut in like Mane and Salah. It frees up Greenwood. They're going to chase them too for fun. Greenwood can just come through the middle and just slot it in.
Yeah. But will Solskjaer change it? Probably not.
No. I don't think he will. No.
No, he won't. He won't.
So Cavani then, we both agree to a panic buy, but hit or miss.
I don't think he'll do anything. I don't think he'll do anything for United. I don't. I think he'll. Can you imagine that? Cavani's going to start like our bloody cup games and whatever. Imagine how bad that would be for Cavani if that's what they do with him. What's he going to do? Is he going to drop Martial? He's not, is he?
No. He won't drop his favourites. We've kind of hammered home that point that Ollie will not drop his favourites. But he has. I don't know. He has to grow some bollocks, and he has to. Players need to know that if you are not playing to the standard, Ollie should know this. If you're not playing to the standard expected of you, don't expect to start. And the problem is, they're playing to a lower expectation, and they're guaranteed to start. And it's fucking crazy because a manager with some bollocks would turn around and go, "Actually, no, you're playing like shit. I'm taking you out." There are players that play through it. I think Jurgen Klopp is a perfect example of this. Mane and Salah could go to absolute shit, but he'll keep playing them because they're fucking.
Yeah, Van Dijk, he's finished. He's finished, isn't he? He'll be at West Brom next season.
But he'll keep playing them, man. They can have poor games, but he'll keep playing. Look at Trent. Trent's having an absolute stinker at the moment, but he'll keep playing him.
Dreadful, isn't he?
Yeah.
I was watching that Villa-Liverpool game, and Tyrone Mings won everything. He won every header. He put in a tackle, and that was against Liverpool. And I thought, Maguire wouldn't have done half of that.
Do you know what? Tyrone Mings is a good fucking centre-back, you know.
He's all right, isn't he?
He's fucking tidy ass. And Connor Cody, not just on the back of his England goal, but again, he's fucking strong and powerful, and he leads. He tells players what to do and where to go all the fucking time. Yeah. I watch Wolves more than I do Man United nowadays, man.
Yeah, and I think that sadly says it all for Maguire. When shit hits the fan, Maguire goes missing.
Yeah.
And that's not what you'd expect from your Rio Ferdinands or your Vidic or your Gary Pallister or your Steve Bruce, or we just haven't got that anymore. And I think the fact that we tried to buy that for 90 million, it's not worked out.
No. And I think when we looked at other players, we were looking at Koulibaly and we were saying, look, we need to get him in. He needs to come in. He's a lot of money for quite an oldish player in football in terms of 29, is he now?
Something like that, yeah.
And if we would have brought him in, would we have took the captaincy off Maguire and give it him straight away? Would we have gone, well, we paid 90 million for him, he needs to be captain? Because as it stands at the moment, we don't have a captain. We have individuals who want to be captain, I suppose, but aren't captain material. Bruno being the obvious choice to give it to. And I think if Maguire's found guilty again, Ollie's got no choice but to take it off him. But whether it goes to Bruno, I'd be surprised. I reckon it goes to the keeper. I reckon it goes to David De Gea.
No, I'd be, mate.
It's a weak choice,
Tell you what,
but I think that's the choice.
If it's true that Bruno has started slating Solskjaer, and that's why Solskjaer took him off, then Bruno's not going to get the captaincy, is he?
That's what I mean. It's not Bruno. He'll give it to the next serving player. He won't give it Mata because Mata doesn't play enough games. Matic potentially is a shout, but he has to be consistent and play. And I think David De Gea he's the first name on the team sheet, so he's definitely going to look at that. But if Maguire is found guilty, then it's got to go to one of them. But it should go to Bruno.
Yeah. Just bring Lindelof back and give him the armband.
Yeah. This is why I smoke, because you come out with shit like this.
Just to finish off then, what do you think of these two wingers that they bought? Because I'd never heard of them.
I don't know.
I was watching some of the highlights.
Mate,
I was watching some of the highlights, Jay, and I swear to God, they both looked about 9. They were playing on 4G pitches against bloody cardboard cutouts. I thought, money well spent.
I think, mate, when I look at them, it reminds me of the Mikel deal. Remember when we bought Mikel and then
had the United shirt on?
Yeah, and then we sold Chelsea like 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
I think this is what we've kind of done. We've bought these young guys that are saying that they're full of talent and promise and all this shit, just to mould them and probably sell them fucking next year, maybe the year after. Yeah. Just because of potential. You've got the Man United hype machine, the PR machine that's absolutely rolling at the moment, saying, "Oh, look at this young talent, Traore, he's fucking amazing," and then this Uruguayan lad we brought in, and Cavani saying he's the best thing since sliced bread, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But none of us have seen it, so it's not happening.
He just hatched out of a Kinder egg last week.
Pretty much, like those pound machines, and you turn them and like a ball drops out.
Yeah.
It's like it's like when you're desperate, you want to get Venom or you want to get Spider-Man, and you fucking end up with Wonder Woman. You're like, shit. This is what.
Yeah. How do you think Dan James feels with all this going on? Do you reckon he's sat at home thinking,
he's fucking stolen living, that cunt. He comes to United. He scored a few goals. It was emotional. He dedicated it to his dad. Thought that was a beautiful thing. And since then, he's done absolutely fuck all. He's another one who hasn't got an end product.
Yeah.
He just runs.
Yeah.
That's it.
Him and Wan-Bissaka down the right. Jesus Christ. Jesus, it's like forgetting your pin when you've just stuck Babe Station on at 11 o'clock at night. You think, fucking hell, what we're going to do for the rest of the night?
Honestly,
dear.
Even Leeds wouldn't take him. We obviously.
No, you're right.
Tried to shop him out. Nobody wanted him. We paid. How much did we pay for Dan James? 19 million.
Yeah, and they were going to buy him for 25, and then they said it was too much. I was saying to my mates, just give him. You can have him. Yeah. Just take him.
Yeah.
He's only down the road. Just have him.
We haven't had, in my opinion, a winger since Ronaldo left. We've never replaced that side. We've had people come in, and just not been able to nail it down. And I think we're desperate for it at the moment. We're doing that whole square peg in round holes that we did under Jose for a little while. You know, we're playing a striker at right wing. We're playing a winger at striker. We're playing a centre midfield at centre defensive midfield. We're not doing very well. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, mate. I can see it coming. I don't know whether it's going to happen soon. I wouldn't be surprised to see Matic at the back.
Or McTominay.
Yeah, at the back.
Yeah. It'll happen. They'll try everyone. Marsh, I'll give it a whirl.
This is what I think is going to happen, right? Genuinely, this is what I think is going to happen. Ollie's going to play 5 at the back when we come back. He's going to move Luke Shaw into left centre back for added cover, and he'll play Tellez left back.
Or wing back kind of thing.
Yeah, left wing back. So we'll play 3 in the middle and we'll play 2 wing backs. One of them being a player that can't fucking cross a ball, and one of them being more or less a midfielder, because Tellez looks like he's a fucking tidy midfielder, to be fair.
Yeah.
Which then leaves very limited fucking space in the middle. So if we're going to play 5 at the back, we need to fuck off that CDM, man. It's got to go. It's got to go, man. You've got to have your 2
agree. Completely agree. And I do agree with what Roy... I mean, I like Roy Keane. I've always liked Roy Keane. I respect what he says because he speaks from the heart, doesn't he? And he's completely true what he says. The players will eventually throw Ollie under the bus, and it's starting now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think come Christmas, the job will just be impossible for him to do anymore because it'll just... I think he'll just give up. He doesn't look like he's got much fight in him, does he?
But he never did. When he first came in and we hit that bounce and we were undefeated in God knows how many games, he was on top of the world. And then we started going through a rough patch. And as soon as we went through a bit of a rough patch, that steel that he had, that little bit of confidence just fucking eroded. It just disappeared. And every time we seemed to go through a bad patch, instead of him coming forward and being bullish and being very sort of brash, and it's like, yes, like even with the Tottenham game, he could have come out and said, look, it's a bad result. We know we fucked up. We go again. And it was all, oh, well, I need to talk to the players and, these mistakes. And I mean, even Jurgen Klopp, when they lost to 7-2, he laughed it off. He went, football's fucking crazy, isn't it? And it was like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. I mean, that saved us that night. Liverpool getting spanked by Villa saved so many United fans all around the world, didn't it?
Oh, massively.
I think it took all the heat off United, and there was that guy off Liverpool TV who was celebrating United getting spanked. That bald lad. And then they were getting hammered, and he was like, 7-2. That made my night. That made my night, and you sending that "Where's Luke Shaw, the Where's Wally" thing. I sent that to so many people. That made my night. That
was it. The guy in the green Liverpool top that was sitting down. He's got like a fucking around him.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. That
mate,
Yeah.
He beat into the ground, he did.
I bet he tripled his viewers on that video.
Yeah.
We'll get there, mate. We'll get there.
This is why we won't do a watch along.
It'd be depressing.
The fucking Seville game there was only one of us left.
We'll have to do it against PSG. I'll bring the rope.
Joe decided at the end of the Seville game to just fucking walk out. Didn't even speak to me. Just opened the door and fucking left. I was like, bye. See you later, then, man. It's like, fuck off. I've had enough.
Yeah. Bad times, that. Bad times.
It was a game we could have won massively.
Yeah. We battered them, didn't we, first 20 minutes? We just couldn't score.
We looked like an absolute unit, and then players looked tired, fatigued, and Ollie made subs at fucking 78 minutes.
Yeah.
I know it's you know what it sounds like? We've been talking about this and we've sort of said, look, you know, it's a nice story. We don't want Ollie to go and stuff like that, but we've not really said anything fucking positive about him. So maybe all in all, it is time for Ollie to go, and maybe he does need to find I don't know. Maybe we do need to bring somebody in, but who we bring in? I
don't know.
Apart from the centre-back situation, we've not got a bad team, you know.
No, you're right. We're getting there. As a squad, we are getting there. We just need to ship off the likes of Phil Jones, Rojo. You know, Mata will go at the end of the season. He has to go. There's like 4 or 5 players that do need to move on, but we're just paying him. I feel so sorry for that. The keeper, the Argentinian,
Romero.
I mean, his wife taking to Twitter slating the club.
Do you know what?
We were paying him to.
I love Stretford Paddock. I absolutely love it. I love everybody on there, and I think they're brilliant. Adam McCullough's from my neck of the woods. He's from Wolverhampton somewhere, but he never actually told me when I asked him. I asked him on a stream, but he wouldn't tell me where he was from, the bastard. But he came out and he was there saying that Romero's wife basically should shut up, and he's been paid a handsome wage to sit on the bench, and he's been a good cook keeper, but really be professional. And I felt fucking terrible. I thought, because the way we treated him is disgusting. Like, he was our cook keeper and we dropped him every single fucking time. He got us more or less 80% of the way and we drop him. But he's not letting in goals. He's not making mistakes. His confidence isn't shattered, but we're still dropping him. And then it comes to a point where we give Henderson this massive contract for him, which is great for us because he's a great young keeper. But we've got, in my opinion, the best number 2 in the league. Outside of Henderson.
But yet United are paying over $500,000 in wages a week on keepers.
Yeah, we've got Lee Grant. Why didn't we let Lee Grant go? Is he a goalkeeping coach now? Because he's not a starter, and he will never be a starter for United ever again. If Henderson gets injured, we play Romero.
Yeah.
And if DDG gets injured, we play Henderson. So Lee Grant's not even in the fold at all. Yet we treat who was potentially or is the best second keeper in the league. Well, I would say we own the top 3 keepers in the league all day. As it stands, I think we've got the best young keeper. I think we've got the best backup keeper in Romero. And on his day, DDG can be the best keeper in the world. But we treat Romero like shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. And I thought Adam McCullough was a little bit out of order from what he was saying. I understand where he's coming from and understand what he's saying. But I don't think we should be treating players like that at all.
No. And he's at a position in his life where he wants to be playing football. He's not got, I don't know how old he is, but I don't think he's overly young, is he? He's getting paid, about 80 grand a week, is he?
Might be more.
And no other club's going to pay that. And I think he's got another 2 years left on his contract. So I do get the shout that you're getting paid a lot of money, to shut up and get on with it. But realistically, he wants to be playing football. I think there is still a chance. I think I've seen some talk that he might go to America to play football because the transfer window's still open over there. I can see him going out on loan. But I think it's a bit harsh to say to shut up and take your money, because he's a professional footballer. He wants to be playing football. So we've got to respect that at some point. We can't just use him for 80% of our cup runs and then drop him for a keeper that can't keep the ball out the net.
Yeah.
Something's not right there. So I'd be the same. I'd be pissed off, and I'd want to go and play at a club that's going to use me and going to put the confidence in me when it got to the semi-finals and finals. So I do get that point, and I do hope he gets that move somewhere where he can play every week. I think United have let him down, like they've let a lot of players down at the moment. And sadly, that's just a story that's going. It's just United at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I don't think it's going to change. I genuinely don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Unfortunately,
No.
This club, and I don't know how you feel about it. And again, this is something I was talking to my old man about the other day. It's not the Manchester United I fell in love with. It's not the Manchester United I like to be associated with anymore. I don't wear the club's badge with honour or excitement. It's hard because at the core of it, we're Man U fans, and we love Manchester United Football Club. We don't love Manchester United as a business, how it's being run, how it's being dictated to. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's painful and it's hard to watch at times, and we're kind of trying to get through it together as like a family of United fans, aren't we? We're kind of all there for each other when something goes well, but then we're all there together slating the club when things go wrong. And sadly, there's a lot of things going wrong at the moment. There's so much talk and negativity about United. It is just getting worse and worse. And they're panicking with things that they think are going to make quick fixes, just like the Cavani deal. It'll bring a bit of positivity back. As soon as he has a couple of bad games, it'll all become negative and toxic again. If they'd have brought Sancho in, could have been amazing, but they just didn't want to pay the money. And Dortmund stuck to the guns. Yeah. So United just got themselves to blame.
Well, when you look at teams like Chelsea that are building, like Frank clearly is a little bit out of his depth. I don't think he's a good manager at all, but I know he's turned around to Roman and said, I need this, 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 and this. And he's gone out and fucking got it. He's got his shopping list early. There you are. There's your team. I expect great things. If you're not going to give us great things, we've got great players. The door's there. Thank you for your service. United, you've got players. Some of them are great. Some of them are mediocre. The reinforcements are fucking all gambles and panics. Do what you can with it. We at least expect for. And that's the difference. That's a fucking difference. That's what Arsenal used to do. Arsenal just wanted Champions League football to fill the pockets. That's it.
Yeah. Arsenal are going to finish above us this season.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They are.
I won't be surprised. I think we've made some dreadful decisions in the transfer market. We've again, gambling, like you said, it's panicking and it's gambling. We're hoping that these kids come good, but we know nothing about them. We're hoping Cavani comes in and does what Cavani does best, but we all know he won't because we've seen it already. Yeah. We saw it with Zlatan. As much as we love Zlatan, he wasn't the Zlatan of old.
No.
And when he got injured, he was fucked.
He was. Fucked. Yeah, we love Zlatan at United because he brought that selfishness. He brought that personality. He was that arrogance. There was that aura, wasn't there? Yeah. I am Zlatan, and I'll give anyone shit who I want to. Yeah. And I think United fans bought into that because he was a true leader. He's done everything, hasn't he? He's been that journeyman. He's gone from club to club, won things, scored the goals, and then we've tried to do it again with Cavani.
We've not learned from going back to Falcao and Di Maria when we brought in these signature signings that didn't pan out. Like Falcao was an absolute fucking nightmare. Di Maria was even worse. As a collective, United hate the cunt. But with Zlatan, he came in, he took the club right to his heart, and it was kind of like, I didn't sign for Man United, I signed Man United, and it was like, Zlatan, that's what we want.
Mate, some of the nightmares. I remember when we signed Falcao and he stood there in the United shirt and the highlight reels were going around about them goals he was scoring. And then you saw his first 2 games for United and you were like, what's going on? What's happening? Make it stop. Get him off.
Oh, mate. The Burnley game. I remember the Burnley game and watching Di Maria. I know Di Maria scored, but I just remember watching him and thinking, fucking hell, man. Like, this guy This guy is meant to be a talent, an absolute fucking dead cert. This guy's going to come and rip the Prem up. He fucking ripped his contract up and fucked off. Falcao, dodgy knees, fuck it, we'll sign him because you Falcao. It's like Matt Judge and Ed Woodward sit there, they open the laptop, they go on Football Manager and they're like, right, let's have a look at who the wonder kids are that you can sign now who we know are going to become good because we've just read a guide. Like a Freddie fucking Adu on the old school Football Managers. And then let's have a look at the talent. The most expensive players that keep turning us down on FM, we'll sign those bastards for real. And they go out and do it. But they're not the signings we want. They're not the signings we need. We haven't brought the signings we need for such a long fucking time. And when we do, we bring them in little bits and pieces. Yeah. And then we never have a cohesive team. We need a centre-back, so we go and get a centre-back. At the same time, we need a right-back. Hang on. Next season. Let's see how we do this season. And if you're good...
Yeah, we'll be fine next season, mate. We'll be fine. We'll dig up... Mate, we'll dig up Neil Warnock. We'll get him in for a 5-year contract.
Big Sam.
He'll sign us the world. Premier League champions next season with Neil Warnock, I'm telling you.
It's fucking shocking. One thing I am sort of excited about is because we brought in Tellez, we will have to change the formation, I think.
Yeah, you're right. We will.
In the 5, we lose that CDM. So we may see Pogba and Van der Beek maybe sitting as centre mid, maybe Bruno just in front, and then maybe even Cavani and Rashford up top. Or Rashford and Martial. Instead of playing the 3 at the top, we'll play 2 with a cam, two centre mids. Yeah, it's 11. I was just double checking.
Yeah. But I'm hoping when we do a few of these videos, we will actually say a lot of positives about United and other things. We might not just talk about Man United. We might talk about other things that are going on in this world. But this time, it's negativity, it's Man United, and that's just the way it is.
And that is just the way
things will change.
What a lovely uplifting note to end this on.
What can I say? We'll get there.
And hopefully we'll be doing this in person, and we would have figured it out completely, and the quality will be a little bit better.
Yeah.
And
we'll get all the images on the background.
Yeah.
We'll have lots of viewers. That is the dream. We will get there, Jamie.
That is the dream. As long as we don't turn into Arsenal fan TV, mate.
Yeah.
Let's be a bit more Stretford Paddock, a little less Arsenal fan TV.
Yeah.
And I can't be...
We'll have to get Mark Goldbridge on here one day, won't we? Bit of positivity for Mark Goldbridge on here.
He's your mate, isn't he? You love him.
Fucking what a guy! What a guy!
I want to sit down with Adam Mack. I want to sit there and talk about fucking Wolverhampton with him for a little bit.
Yeah.
Find out some bits and pieces.
On a side note, have you got FIFA yet?
I haven't got FIFA. I am not falling into that trap because EA are just as bad as the fucking Glazers. So no. But I do have the app. Yeah. I do have the app.
I'm back from the lakes tomorrow, and I'm going to download FIFA on my Xbox and get that started.
Oh, see,
when United's on, I can turn it off and just play FIFA and imagine we're winning 7-0 against Bayern Munich or something like that.
You want to stop playing it on easy mode, mate? Do you still play it with 2 buttons?
Mate, I need to stop spending 500 quid a year on bloody Ultimate Team. That's what I need to do.
That's
and
why
concentrate on. Yeah, it's addictive, isn't it? It's addictive. At least I've got a chance of buying decent players for United. Spend my money wisely.
Mate, maybe buy a couple of bronzes and see if they turn gold by the end of the season.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. But no, I think we've had a good chat about all things United, haven't we? And we'll come up with, no doubt, some more items to discuss. And we'll get this screen sorted and we'll get all the images in the background and we'll make it nice and fancy.
Yeah, we will do. Right, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We are back at the internet with myself, Jay and Joe, and we will see you for the next video. See you later.
Peace.